Unlike Justin Baldoni's case against Blake Lively that I think he has a good chance of winning, I think his lawsuit against the New York Times is going to be much harder to win. The main reason is that in the United States, publishers and media companies have strong First Amendment rights. They can't be sued just if what they publish is false. It needs to also be proven that they acted with actual malice, which is defined as knowledge of the falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. That's a very high standard and it's hard to prove. Just careless reporting is not enough. Instead, the victim needs to prove actual intentional malice or a reckless disregard for the truth. The story claims that when Lively filed sexual harassment charges, Baldoni hired public relations people to set up a smear campaign to discredit her. The story also contains salacious stories about sexual misconduct on the scene of the movie, claiming that Baldoni did things like orchestrate kissing scenes without consent, entered her trailer without consent while she was partially nude, and also shared naked pictures with her. Baldoni claims that those claims are false and taken out of context, that the kissing scenes were entirely consensual and part of the movie, that he was invited to come into her trailer when she was breastfeeding, and that the nude photos related to a birthing scene involving a producer, and they were collaborating and working on the birthing scene in the movie, and that's why she was shown the pictures. So he disputes the sexual harassment vehemently. Baldoni says if the New York Times had really done any real investigation and really looked at the documents, they would have realized that the claims were false and put him in a negative light that was very unfair. Baldoni also complains that he was given very little time to respond to the article. Although they had been collaborating with Lively for weeks, if not months, they only gave him a few hours to respond to the article on the record. And then, even though they gave a noon deadline for publishing, they published the article 2 hours early. So he said it was an ambush. In the end, if the jury follows the law, I think Baldoni will have a difficult time winning because he needs to prove that actual malice. He needs to prove that they intentionally published something false or did it recklessly, not just that this was bad reporting or shoddy reporting or careless reporting, that it was intentional or reckless conduct.